This report automatically analyzes ABC observation data to show you frequencies and patterns. Let's look at the Analysis tab first. Here is the report you'll get after completing your ABC observations. The top has a summary statement to get a big picture of the student's behavior, and the next 3 sections break down the frequency of each antecedent, behavior, and consequence. In this case, 22 behaviors were observed, and attention removed was the antecedent for 45% of them. The behavior section looks similar, but also includes the total number of minutes the behavior occurred for. The most frequent ABC patterns can be a powerful indicator of a behavior's function, but paper forms would take hours to calculate. This report finds these patterns right away, and in this case, we see that one pattern stood out. When attention was removed, the student caused a disruption, and then he received attention through the form of a repeated direction. This would be one piece of evidence to suggest the function of behavior might be attention. The next section can also give evidence for a behavior's function and visualizes what happens after the consequence of each behavior. In this case, we see that the student's behavior usually stopped after each consequence. Finally, the last section lists examples of each behavior. This is useful for defining what a behavior looks like. At the very top, there are 2 filter options. This lets you narrow in on a specific setting or a specific behavior, in case you want a more narrow analysis. Now let's take a look at how we enter data during observations. The top section has background information, and below that are the ABC sections. These can be customized ahead of time, or even during the observation, but keep in mind that any changes will apply to the entire column. Once a checkbox is marked for that column, the description will turn bold to warn you against changing it. This column lets you compare behaviors between different settings. Enter a setting, and it will automatically copy down the rows as you check boxes. You can change these at any time by typing a new one, which will then continue downward as the observation continues. Let's pretend an observation is starting during large group instruction. The teacher gives a direction, the student disrupts, the teacher ignores, and the student stops the disruption. I want to remember what this behavior looks like, so in this case, I'll type, "Shouts wackadoo." The behavior was brief, so I'm not going to enter anything in the length of behavior box. This part is optional and only applies to longer-lasting behaviors like refusal or extended disruption. Remember to include the total length of the observation, which will let the form calculate the rate of behaviors. If you have any questions, please email them to helixforms@gmail.com. And to find more forms like this, go to my store page at tinyurl.com/helixforms.